Okay, so I was pondering on just a thought. I came across something on social media and someone was asked, why do you believe, right? Why do you read the Bible? Why do you, believe in God and stuff like that? And so I'm just driving and I'm just thinking what we believe in, in society, we believe in societies and things that happened 500, 600, 700, 800, even 1,000 years ago, right? We believe in, ancient Greece. We believe in, Egypt and, when they built the towers and we find them, they're mummified in their tombs and, and so we believe in all of this history, right? We believe in all of these stories and books and things and even movies that were written about things that we were not present for, things that our parents and even their parents were not present for. We believe in all of these things. And so it's just like, when will people begin to see that the Bible, right, that Christianity, that Christ, that the disciples, that all of these things actually happened on the face of the earth? Like, the Bible is historic. The Bible is human history. Like, there are ancient Bibles that were found, super old Bibles that were found in Africa and Ethiopia. There are things that scientists are finding that shows that what the Bible talks about is real. And even without the aid of science, even with them, before they started finding these historic artifacts to prove that the Bible was real, I believed anyway. Because how do we explain the beauty in the world that we live in without it being a creator? We can't. You can't explain the water, how we're not swallowed up in water. You can't explain vegetation. You can't explain the beautiful skies and the stars in space. Somebody had to create that. Somebody bigger than us, somebody outside of our world had to create every intricate detail, down to even creating us as humans. Like, somebody bigger and greater than us did all of this. This is his work of art. This is his masterpiece. He is an artist. That's why I never had a problem. I don't just believe because I was taught this as a child. Right? This is something that I grew up in. It wasn't forced on me. It was just something that was. And after so long, I began to develop my own relationship with the Lord. And personally, he showed me that he was real. Right? Personally, personally, silent prayers that I prayed, he showed me that he listened and he answered. Personally, I'm not, just jumping on the bandwagon. You know what I mean? Like, personally, in my life, in an intimate relationship with me and the Lord, he showed me that he was real, right? And so I think that, and we have to be very careful to people, most of the time, if not all the time, people that try to discredit Christianity, people that try to discredit faith, people that try to discredit God for his existence, for his work, for who he is, are usually the people that are bitter and mad at him. They're usually the people that are bitter and angry with the Lord. And so, if we are not careful, we will begin to listen, ingest, and digest these demonic nuggets of thought and belief from them. But in turn, they were once believers who got angry with God because of life circumstances. And now they're deciding that they hate him. So, Elliot, what are you saying? What I'm saying is that God is real. Regardless of what we go through life, there is someone navigating and covering us and making sure that we are not swallowed in our circumstances or in our trials and tribulations. Somebody is keeping us alive through all of life's hardships. Somebody's covering us. Somebody's keeping us. Somebody's watching over us. Somebody's loving us. And so just because life is not going the way you think, just because you are going through harsh grief, just because you are going through situations that are not favorable, does not mean that God is not real and that he doesn't love you. That's not what that means. Because we see, look at Job, look at Joseph. Life is going to life regardless. The enemy comes in hard seasons to plant seeds to discredit God in our lives, because he knows that if we lose faith in a low place, he has us where he wants us, and he can manipulate us. He can manipulate us and tell us anything and we will believe it. The enemy knows that when we are weak and our faith is low because of what we are going through, he can feed us anything and we will believe it and take it as truth. So he comes when life is doing what life is going to do, and he plants seeds that will soon blossom and grow and drift us further away from God. And that's what happens. That's what the enemy does. And so, Elliot, what are you saying? What I'm saying is, you got to believe anyway. Even in the face of adversity and unfortunate things happening, I still got to believe that there is a God that is going to keep me through all of this. I still believe that there is a God that is going to cause a fruit and oil to come from this dark place. I still have to believe that even though I'm going through a hard thing right now, that he is still good and he's still going to work everything out for my good. I cannot be shallow in faith. I can't be shallow in faith. I can't afford to be shallow in faith. Life is always going to do what life is going to do. It is unpredictable. But what I do know is, and what is my guarantee, is that he promised that he would keep me and he would be there for me always. And that's what I'm going to stand on. So just because I'm mad, just because I want to throw a tantrum because of what is going on in my life, doesn't mean that I get to say God's not real. Don't mean that I get to say that he doesn't love me. The fact that we are not swallowed up in life's trials and hills and valleys is proof to me that he's real, that he's watching over me, that he's covering me, that he's loving me, that he's orchestrating my pathway, even though life is lifing. Like, we got to be realistic about this. It's going to do what it's going to do regardless, but my faith has to be anchored in God. I can't let the enemy come in. How I'm going to believe for years and then something tragic happens and I stop believing? Then what was my faith built on in the first place? Because on Christ, the solid rock I stand.